This might seem like the most basic thing if you've been flying for a while, but if you're new to a cockpit environment, it could be useful to break that down to the absolute basic, so you have a strong base to build from. Every plane will be a little bit different, so you should also get a proper tutorial on the specific avionics you're going to be flying with. But what we're essentially talking about here are two different pieces of hardware. Note that they may look like just one block depending on how they are set up in the cockpit, and a lot of planes these days have two radios, which will also include an audio panel. Here is an example of one radio, one transponder. The radio is what allows you to talk to ATC and other aircrafts in your area. Radios can also be used for navigation, but that's a more advanced topic for another time. And the transponder is a piece of equipment that will broadcast specific information to ATC and potentially other aircraft if they have the equipment to receive that information. Things like your location, your altitude, your airspeed, and a 4-digit code you can manually change, also known as squawk code. General aviation aircrafts are equipped with VHF radios, which stands for Very High Frequency. They operate within the range between 118.00 and 136.975 MHz, meaning all the radio frequencies you'll be using to talk with ground control, tower, departure, etc. will have frequencies within that range. Also note they are subject to what is called line of sight, meaning the signal will not curve around the horizon or mountains, and therefore you will get better reception at higher altitude. Typically, a radio will display two frequencies, one active frequency and one standby frequency. You can tune into a specific frequency by turning a double ring knob. The large ring will dial the main frequency number, and the smaller ring will set the decimals. Note that depending on the avionic, you might be able to set 2 or 3 decimal points. If you can only set 2, just ignore the last decimal number of any given radio frequency. A toggle button will allow you to switch between which frequency is active and which is on standby. You should also be able to monitor your standby frequency by pushing a different button, which will allow you to listen in on what is being said on the standby frequency as long as no one is talking on the active frequency. You can use that feature to get the ATIS information, for example. As far as the transponder goes, you will mostly only use it to enter specific squawk codes given by ATC, simply by pushing the corresponding numbers. If they tell you to squawk 0472, just hit the 0, the 4, the 7, and the 2. And if you need to go back to the default VFR squawk of 1200, there should be a button labeled VFR that does that automatically for you, so you don't actually have to enter 1200. ATC might sometimes ask you to ident, and there should be a button labeled ident. Just press that and it will show up on their display. And that's all the basics. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know in the comments what topic you'd like me to talk about next, and I'll catch you on the next one.